So here we are going to discuss about the concept called as batch costing. Okay, batch costing. So what is batch costing? See, batch costing is a company keeps on producing several batches of products. For example, we take like a t-shirt manufacturer. Okay, t-shirt production. Okay, so if you take t-shirt productions, okay, there might be one batch. Okay, one batch where we produce 1,000 shirts. We produce 1,000 shirts in that batch, and all that t-shirts are white in color. Okay, white, it's white color, or I'll put it here. Color is going to be white, and the size is going to be XL, and the neck, okay, the neck is going to be a round neck, and it's going to be for the gender. Okay, it's going to be gender for male, right? It's going to be for male gender, and its sleeve, and its sleeve is going to be half sleeve. Okay, so this is the t-shirt they are going to produce. Look at here, look at the several combination it has. Okay, so this is one batch. There's going to be another batch. Okay, they are going to produce another batch where it's again going to be the same 1,000 t-shirts, but this time it's going to be red in color, and it's going to be XXL. Okay, and it's going to be a V-neck, right? A V-neck, and it's going to be for male, and it's going to be a full sleeve. Now, are both these products same? Okay, both are produced in the same company, but both these products same? The answer is no. For example, what happens here is we'll try to compare the costing of it. Okay, if you produce white, you don't need to have any color, you don't need to add any color. Okay, so there is no much cost involved, but in red you have to add color. Okay, you have to add color, so there's a coloring that is added. Okay, so for coloring there's nothing here, but for coloring per shirt we have to add something like 10 rupees. In Excel the size is going to be the cost of the material, okay, the stitching and everything put together, it's going to be 100. But in double XL the stitching is a little bit more and the cloths are a little bit more, so it's going to be 120. Round neck, okay, it takes a lot of time to do, so the tailor asks 10 rupees here, but for V neck it's like much more design oriented, so they ask 15 rupees here. As it's a male shirt, okay, it's going to be straight only, so it's not going to have any shape, so because of that they're not going to charge anything. But if this is going to be a female, okay, they have to like shape cut it, so there they ask for another 5 rupees. So if it's a half sleeve, the cost is like much less. The half sleeve cost is much less here. So what they do is to produce this kind of half sleeve, they charge only like 10 rupees. But for a full sleeve, they charge 20 rupees. Now if you put here the total cost, okay, the total cost here for the per shirt would be like this. It would be, add all these. Here the per shirt would be 120, and here it is going to be 170. Okay, so what happens here is to produce, okay, so this would be not total, this would actually be cost per shirt. Okay, it's cost per shirt. And what would be the total cost? Okay, the total cost here would be 120 shirts into 1000. Okay, 1000 are produced, and here it would be 170. So you can look at the logic here. Okay, the logic is within the batch, okay, all these 1000 products are same, but between this batch, okay, between this batch and this batch, they are not same. Okay, so that is the unique problem in batch costing. So in batch costing you have to cost every batch. Costing happens for every batch level. Okay, we can't like produce 2000 shirts and we can't find out the value. We have to find out for every batch we have to find out the value. Okay, so that's about batch costing. So let's get the idea here. CIMA defines batch costing as that form of specific order costing which applies where similar articles are manufactured in batches, either for sale or for use within the undertaking. So it is not that it has to be sold. Even when the company is using the same products for its own consumption, it is again batch costing. Okay, so batch costing is another form of job costing. Under this method, homogeneous, that means same products, are taken as cost units. Okay, a batch consists of specific number of products or units or articles. The number varies from one batch to another batch. Hence, batch cost is used to determine the cost per unit or article. Okay, so this is about the concept here. Okay, where and all this batch costing is applied is in the production of following items we can use batch costing. Ready-made garments, just now we saw. In drugs or pharmaceuticals, where they produce different tablets, okay, or medicines, that they used batch costing. Automobiles, okay, so automobiles like car and bike. Smartphones, in production of television sets, smart TV, or refrigerators, or even the production of machinery. So in all these places they use batch costing. So let's work out a sum. We'll get a better idea here. So we'll start from here. So we'll start from required actually. Calculate the cost of the catalog job based on the information provided. A printing and publishing company has been asked to provide an estimate for the production of 1 lakh catalogs of 64 pages. So 32 sheets of paper are there. Okay, so they have to produce 1 lakh catalogs, okay, of 64 pages. So 62 papers are required. For a potential customer, 4 operations are involved in the production process: photography, setup, printing, and binding. Each page of the catalog, so how many pages are there? There are 64 pages. Requires a separate photographic session. Each session costs 150. Setup would require a plate to be made for each of the page. So again, how many page? 64 page of the catalog. Each plate requires 4 hours of labor at $7 per hour, and 35 of materials. Okay, and 35 of materials. So is this 35 of materials for per plate? Okay, per plate, the answer is yes, because he has started with each plate requires 4 and 35 of materials. So that is for each plate. 35 is for each plate. Overheads are absorbed on the basis of labor hours at an hourly rate of 9.5. So the fixed cost per unit is 9.5 per hour. In printing, so that's going to be the third process. In printing, paper costs $12 per 1,000 sheets. For 1,000 sheets, it's going to be $12. So how much we require? We require only 32 sheets. Okay. Material losses are expected to be 2% of input. So how much ever we input inside, 2% will be like lost. So we have to put like more input, not like 32 sheets. We should put more sheets. Other printing material will cost $7 per 500 catalogs. For every 500 catalogs, we have to pay material of $7. 1,000 catalogs are printed per hour of machine time. Okay, and that seems to be the hours. Okay, how many of machine hours is required. Labor and overhead costs incurred in printing are absorbed at a rate of 62 per machine hour. So that is about the cost. And finally, it's about the binding. Binding costs are recovered at a rate per machine hour. This rate is 43 per hour, and 2,500 catalogs are bound per machine hour time. Management needs to know what the cost of this job will be as a basis for negotiating a price with the customer. So this is a lengthy problem. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll find out a batch cost sheet. We'll prepare. Okay, we will try to find out the cost for 1 lakh catalogs itself directly. So we'll start from the each cost. It's going to be photography. So we'll start from the photography. So each page, okay, each page of the catalog requires a separate photographic session. Each session costs $150. Okay, so how many? So first we'll put like the amount. So totally 150 is going to be involved. How many sessions we are going to have? Each page, okay, 64 pages are there, so 64 sessions are required. So the next one, I think we can go to the setup. Setup would require a plate to be made at each page. Okay, so there it is like each page we have to make. Okay, so there are actually two things here. So actually there are three things here. Okay, one is going to be labor, other one is going to be material, and other is going to be overheads. So three things are involved here. So we'll start. Setup would require a plate to be made for each page. So how many pages we have? We have 64 pages. And what is the cost? The cost is going to be $7 per hour. Okay, each plate requires, okay, 64 pages are to be produced. Each plate, okay, for every page we have to create a plate, and each plate will take 4 hours of time. Each plate will take 4 hours of time, and each hour will has to be paid at 7. Okay, done. What's the material? Material has to be paid at 35. So totally we have to make 64 pages or 64 plates. Each of it is going to be 35. Overheads is absorbed on an hourly basis. Okay, so hourly basis it's going to be 64 plates and 4 hours, but the overhead absorption rate is 9.5. So we can take all these numbers and we can put it here and we'll get the answer. Okay, we got all the setup cost. Let's go for printing. So printing, paper costs $12 per 1,000 sheets. Okay, 1,000 sheets here. So here we have to find out the total number of sheets which are going to be required. Okay, he says 32 sheets are required. Okay, for per catalog. Okay, for per catalog 32 sheets are required. And how many we are going to produce? We are going to require 1 lakh catalogs we need. Okay, so this will give you the total number of sheets. Okay, and every 1,000 sheet will require, will be costed at $12. So when you solve this, you will get the paper cost. Okay, if you want, I'll repeat it again. So we are going to make 32 sheets of paper we require, and 1 lakh catalogs we are going to produce, and so this will give you the total number of sheets. Okay, divided by 1000 sheets. Okay, divided by 1000 sheets each. So this will give you the total number of sheets. Okay, or else you can also put it like 12 by divided by 1000, 12 divided by 1000, or 1000. So this will give you the total number of sheets into 12. Okay, so this is the total amount of money that will cost for the paper. Okay, for the paper. So if you want, we'll put it here and we'll just put the word paper. Thereafter, but there's a hint here. Okay, there's a hint here. We can't take this amount here because he says material losses are expected to be 2% of input. So what we'll do, we'll have a working note. We'll put a working note and we'll find it out. So working note number 1 we'll put. So what we'll do is total or else we'll put as sheets required for one catalog. Okay, so how much is required? 32 sheets. So next we'll put sheets required for 1 lakh catalog. So how much that is required? That is 32 into 1 lakh. So this is the total number of sheets required, but damages, okay, damages would be 2%. Okay, so how do we find out the damages? See, damages is how much ever you input, 2% is always damaged. Okay, so you shouldn't put more than that. You should put actually more than that. Okay, so how do we do it? So we'll put it like this. Okay, input, if your input is going to be 100 and your damage is going to be 2%, that will be 2, then your output will be 98. Okay, 98. So what we want, okay, our 32 lakhs represents here. Okay, the total number of pages required is 92. Okay, so what should be the input? That is the question. What should be the input? The input would be like this. So sheets required for 1000 catalog. Okay, after taking damage into account. Okay, how much we require at that point? So we'll try to find that. I think we'll put it here. Okay, so it would be like this. It would be 32 lakhs into, okay, this represents, we want for 900, but this represents 98. Okay, 98. That means we need more papers. We need more papers to produce. So how much it would be? We require this much of papers. Okay, so if we have taken the material loss into account, so if this is the total number of papers, then how much it would be for per paper? So we'll find out cost per sheet. Okay, what's a sheet? So this is the total number of sheets. Let's get the cost per sheet. Cost per sheet is every 1000 sheets is priced at 12. So per sheet cost would be 0.02. Okay, so paper cost would be this 0.012 into this number 3265306. Okay, so this is the cost. So as we have done the working note, we don't need to work out here anything. We can directly get this amount. So we can put the amount directly here. Okay, we can put it directly here. So this is the paper cost. So he says other printing material. So other material would be $7. Okay, we have to pay $7 for every 500 catalogs. So totally we make 1 lakh catalog, and for every 500 catalogs we have to pay 7. Okay, so that comes to 1400. So anything else left? Then he tells labor and overhead costs incurred. Sorry, 1000 catalogs are printed per hour. Okay, 1000 catalogs are printed per hour of machine time. Okay, per hour of machine time. So labor costs and other overhead costs incurred in printing are absorbed at 62 per machine cost. So we'll have to find out what's this cost. Okay, he says labor and overhead cost. Okay, so they tell that, see, for totally they produce 1 lakh catalog. Okay, and for every 1000 catalogs they are incurring. Okay, 1000 catalogs are printed every hour. Every hour it is printed. So if you divide like this, you will get the total number of hours. Total number of hours would be 100 hours. 100 hours is used for in this printing. Okay, and for every hour we have to pay 62. If we do this, we'll get the other charges. That comes to 6200. So finally we come to the binding. So the binding costs are recovered at a rate per machine hour. Okay, rate per machine hour. Okay, the rate is 43. The rate is 43. The rate is 43, and 2500 catalogs are bound per hour of machine time. Okay, so again it's going to be like this. So 1 lakh catalogs we have printed, and in a hour we can bind 2500. So this will give you the total hours required, and every hour we have to pay 43. So this is the binding cost. So this is the total cost. Let's what we'll do is, first we'll put the headings as bold. Okay, headings have been put in bold. Let's get the total cost. The total cost would be okay. So this is the total cost. Okay, if you have used any working note, you have to make reference to that working note. So you have to put it like this. Working note number 1 has been taken and used here. Okay, you have to put that. So that's about the concept here. Okay, this is a lengthier sum, but this takes into account that it is a cost sheet problem. It is also a little bit of job costing. It is also a little bit about overheads costing. Okay, it's a combination of almost all different types of problems put together. Okay, so this is job costing problem. So that's about here with job and batch costing.